Good morning, everyone. The final day for this particular third week in the August month, that is going to be end with somewhat better, not in way of conviction, we can say, but somewhat better in the way of formation. The formation only could not help the behavior to attain the track which is forming. Anyhow, after 12 days of continuous downward session, the Nifty and Sensex have already experienced. Yesterday's, as we predicted, that was accurately respected our levels and strategies. So yesterday's one was first snapping session for the benchmark indices to close in the positive note. So in the way, based on that yesterday's behavior, what we can get the signal from that, what it is indicating, and what it may be giving the further pathway or forming the further pathway for the markets, that and all can be now discussed through the way of showing Nifty chart. So we can now see the Nifty chart and discuss the things further. See, the yesterday session that was happened with, that was closed with a clear indecisive candle. So hope you all already got some observation about what impact the indecisive candle once it is getting formed. So in the way, we have already demonstrated few indecisive candles that has already impacted on the immediate next day's price movement. So that and all already we have discussed. The first time while it is bouncing back, because the bounces only we can expect, that too without any follow through actions. If you are seeing on the bouncing side, there may not be having a chance of continuing the bouncing activities with conviction like we have discussed yesterday. In the manner, you just see this demonstration on the behavioral actions for the prices and all on the Nifty, how it has accurately getting impacted from the important dates high and low. Once again, the proof happened or occurred. So this is for the yesterday's candle. We can see that exact indecisive candle happened. So if you just look back the things already we have discussed, no? So every indecisive candle, while it was attempting a downward trend, that helped the or that directed the price actions to follow by the way of closing below of every indecisive candles. So in that manner, it was the first attempt taken by the Nifty and Sensex to close on positive note. Then if it breaks and closes above this particular or the 20th August high, if you are seeing on the chart, that was 24,265. In between that, we want to share one more thing. The horizontal line here we have drawn to make you all understand about the important dates, low and high, how it is acting like. You can check this 20th August high as 24,265. Come to the candle of 12th August low, that was 24,265. So both these are actually on the same price. So this is how the behavior will act. The important dates high and low, this is how is getting respected or getting acted. Which means what? As we have already demonstrated in the way of 12th candle is high and low, while it is getting a downward trend, which actually first time breaks the rectangular candles low, but smartly closed above that particular bottom of the rectangular box. Then it has that means held the price actions without drastically moving below for the consecutive 2 sessions, these two. Then after a decisive break below 24,265, that was happened on 17th of August. The first time it has actually broken down the 12th August low, but it has somehow managed to close above the 12th August low point. So it has again attempted with the directional shift that happened because of this particular 14th August indecisive candles breakdown. Then it has comfortably closes below 12th August low. That too, the consecutive 2 sessions happened below the important dates range where and all we are mentioning. So all these things and all based on the important dates range or high and low we can understand. So by the way of looking back these things, while the turnaround kind of actions are happening, one can understand only above the close of this particular candle's high, that was 24,265, you can that too need a confirmation with consecutive 2 sessions of close. So if it happens, the Nifty may be probably trying to reach this particular 12th August high of 24,470 as the first attempt. Then it would be attempting towards the low point that was a 12, that means 4th August low point, that would be comfortably getting attained while it is attempting to reach the high of 12th August. So which almost close to the low point of 4th August. Once the low point of close, that means that once the low point of 4th August is getting attained and closing above this point once happens, you can see the attempt towards 24,700 would be again taking. But for the Tandal, the things should be happened comfortably closing above or sustaining above this particular rectangular box we have drawn. Until these things and all happens, one can see a sell on rise basis. Again telling the sell on rise is comfortably working out, and until the things and all happening based on the low, high we have mentioned based on the important dates and this particular range based rectangular box we have drawn, you can utilize between these zone. You can utilize any bounce or rise on the prices, which is for index or for any other sector or index or stocks, to book your profit or to reduce your long positions, not for building a fresh one, particularly if you are a day trader or short-term trader. For the positional trade setups, like for 1 month or more than 1 month and all, if you want to, or if you wish to build, you can start building even. Yesterday, we have also mentioned in the report and discussed that you can start building from here on, and you can hopefully with an accumulation strategy, because as we have already termed it as every 100 point, the market is having support as well as resistance on either side. So 24,184 was the yesterday's low. Before that, 24,000 almost what we have predicted have been met through the way of filling the gap that was discussed earlier. So until that 24,000 is being held by the Nifty, no worries for the positional traders, because even though it is getting a break, 23,900, 23,800, 23,700 in all the way to go give the support or raise the demand for buying activities. So one can utilize that kind of actions with a support of this 100 points interval, that too for an accumulation or for an average purpose, and you can keep trading with a perspective of building longs on positional basis between 23,700 to 24,700, interim that 24,000 as a core support that was already mentioned and which is acting crucially. So that and all for positional trades. So these things and all would be driving or screwing the day traders and the short-term traders until it clearly getting a direction. So it would be advised to keep stop loss, and for the safe traders, it would be better to avoid carry forwarding positions, particularly on the F&O side. And if you want to build long, by the way of keeping important levels we are mentioning, you can start or keep building the long positions. But for that, every levels what we are mentioning as support should be maintained as stop loss. Resistance should be maintained as target, where you should book the profit at least for the portion of your work. Otherwise, if you are not willing to close all the positions, it is better to avoid taking positions. That's all for the Nifty strategy we can discuss for the day. We can now resume our market outlook session. See that 24,231 was the close and 24,265 was made as high. That was exact number as a low point for the date of 12th August, which means only after, that means almost a top, double top kind of actions it was happened. So only after a decisive break above this level, one can see them moving towards 24,400 to 500 may be happening. So today's opening would be on the stable side. Anyhow, that is a good news for the traders. But immediately after opening this particular zone, the market should sustain above 24,300 to see the chance of moving higher, because the 18th August as a core number one date for the month of August we have announced already. Before that, the 12th and 4th, 3rd August and all was acted primarily. After that, the 18th August, that went to secondary kind of actions, because the 18th August low and high will be acting as a primary one hereafter. So only after the consecutive two sessions close about 24,270 and 18th August high that was, you can see the chance for continuing the long build-ups and moving upward will be happening towards 24,500, 600, 700 zones. That can be expected. But if it is not closing or sustaining above 18th August high, one can see the opportunity for the sellers would be rising, and then you can see the chances of retracing again towards the 24,000 would be probably happening. So that's it for the Nifty side. In detail, we have discussed. For the day, traders may continue adapt sell on a rise strategy until the index decisively close above the 18th August high, and yesterday's high also you should note. Both are in the same area, so which may be togetherly concentrated. So on the sectors front, private banks can be in focus today, along with FMCG. Based on the short covering actions, the FMCG sector somewhat survived the selling activities by the way of acting positively yesterday. Real estate, the bigger short covering rally happened on real estate that may be expected to continue for the day. Capital goods also, based on the short covering rally, one can see the number of stocks selectively will be acting positively under this capital goods. Media, that was the leader in yesterday's overall market movement, that can be expected to pause its upward rally with a stock selective action. Based on news and technical behavior, stocks like MCX, India, Muthoot Finance, Hindustan Zinc, Coforge, Power Finance Corporation, Railtel Corporation, Shatwik Green Energy can be focused for the day trading opportunities. This always we are keep advising in terms of keeping or maintaining the stop loss on all transactions without fail. So it would be a good one to maintain your risk and reward ratio with a favorable manner. So that's all from this day's market outlook. We can now see the feedback from Mr. Ravi sir again. Yeah, he's an active participator in the market outlook session on daily basis. So he mentioned that technically speaking, on 3rd August, the Nifty had a high of 24,774 and started falling down. On 6th, 10th, 14th, through doji candles, it has confirmed its downtrend. Now, yesterday's candle is a spinning top, which of course is a trend reversal candle. Now we are eager to watch your presentation that how far this market will move up and how it will behave in the coming days. So the geopolitical tensions are not yet over, of course, exactly correct, sir. And the crude price also above $92 per barrel. So that and all will be having impact. There is no doubt on it. But the impact quantum will be changing, sir. Based on the geopolitical tensions, even though that and all scatterly spreaded over, and the commodity prices and all keep increasing or keep volatile trade and all keep happening. So that and all may be continuously impacting, but not in the quantum what we have already experienced. These and all now become a new normal for the market. Market will not always noticing all the existing things and their impacts. So that is the core thing one can understand. Then, based on the doji candles or indecisive candles formed, the impact and all already demonstrated through the way of showing the charts. So hope you got the information clearly. Then, based on yesterday's indecisive candle, that also going to see an impact in the way of deciding the upward trend further if it is happening. For that, it should decisively close above the yesterday's candles high. In case if you are seeing closing below the yesterday's candles low, the impact will be more on the price actions based on the behavioral research that may be opening the door for breaking down the 24,000 as the support. But anyhow, the 100 points interval supports and are already pronounced that may be acting or come into force to act. That's the point. So thank you for your detailed observation and feedback, sir. So we'll be meeting again in tomorrow. That means tomorrow we are usually conducting on Saturdays the market outlook session that will be happening. And for the next pre-market outlook session, we will be meeting on Monday. So wish everyone to have a happy weekend and a prosperous trading day.